Welcome back. On today's episode, we are sitting down with Greg Fisher, who was reelected back in November to his third term as the mayor of Louisville, which is Kentucky's largest city with a population of over 700,000 people. And Mayor, we appreciate, again, you making time to join us here on In Focus Kentucky.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about a conversation that has been a topic for many across the Bluegrass State, pensions, and there are legislators working on it in Frankfort, down at the Capitol. But where are you, and how does it affect what's going on in the city of Louisville?
Well, it has a serious impact on us here. I mean, I applaud the governor and the legislature for taking it on. The goal would be to have a solution where all the parties say, okay, this is a reasonable solution here. And it's not just a fix, then it's how do you fund it? I mean, we're in the problem we're in right now mainly because money has not gone into the system before. So just to have a process to fix it or new regulations without new funding, it's not going to work. So we got to recognize that up front. The theory right now is that funding is going to be pushed down to the city level and to the county level, and that is going to be a financial disaster for many of our counties. They just do not have the capacity to deal with it. In our case, over a 5-year period, we'd be looking at an additional $50 million per year after year 5. And that means severe cuts in government services that we provide right now. So everything from police to firefighting, garbage pickup. So to fix this, one, we'd love to have some funding from Frankfort because that's where it was supposed to come from in the first place. Absent that, we have to have more local control at the county and city levels so that we can look at different revenue sources, ways to fund different projects by having our people vote on that. We don't have the right to do that as a state. We're way behind all the other states. So let's fix the pension, but let's fix the funding mechanisms at the same time and don't cripple the cities and counties while we're doing that.
And we've discussed the pensions, and we've discussed public safety, the homelessness situation as well. What are some other top priorities that you're wanting to focus on leading into 2019, but also your next term as mayor of Louisville?
Yeah, we talked about keeping the momentum we've got going in our city. Louisville's seen as one of these next breakout medium-sized cities in the country right now. A lot of that's happening because of tourism, hotel growth, 25 new hotels in the city. We call it bourbonism, bourbon and local food tourism, which is great for the entire state. So that's going to continue to accelerate. But we're also radically scaling the amount of technology talent that we have in the community. Businesses that are growing oftentimes have two things in common. They are global businesses, or they are thinking globally, and they're also businesses that focus on innovation, constantly innovating and delighting their customers. So you put that with the technology base together, really good things can happen, not just to grow the companies we have right now, but also to attract new companies. And then finally, what they want is they want workforce. That's the number one thing. They don't talk about taxes. They don't talk about incentives. They just want to know, do you have the best people in the United States of America that can help my company grow?
And talk about that tourism too. You mentioned that. Are you wanting to continue to make the city of Louisville a travel destination for people within the city, but the state, but also just outside of Kentucky to come in and enjoy all the different things that you are doing here in Louisville?
Yeah, we're going through a tourism boom right now, and it's also benefiting some of the state. I mentioned bourbonism, so that's bourbon and local food tourism. If you're from Kentucky, you know almost all the bourbon in the world comes from Kentucky. So bourbonism is to bourbon like what Napa Valley is to wine tourism. So 1.4 million tourists visited last year the Bourbon Trail. So that's really growing rapidly. That's impacting Louisville in a very positive way in this whole region of the Commonwealth. So we're going to continue to grow bourbonism, but also lots of tourists around Muhammad Ali. Fortunately, he's from Louisville, Kentucky. Kentucky Derby obviously is a big deal for us. Louisville Slugger Museum. So we have a beautiful city. So for the first time in a long time, we have a 365-day-a-year tourism industry, and that really helps our whole food and beverage segment, which also then helps our local farmers because we're big on local food and partnerships between the city and the farmers out in the rural areas of Kentucky.
Well, Mayor Fisher, we appreciate your time joining us again today for taping of In Focus Kentucky from our Spectrum News 1 Louisville studio. So we thank you so much for your time today.
Okay, Mario, thank you.
Absolutely. Now, that's all for today's show. We thank you for joining us. You can go online right now and see this or any past episodes of In Focus on our website, spectruminfocus.com. And as always, you can keep in touch with updates about the show throughout the week by following me on social media. Until next time, have a great week.